Ms. Billingsley, you claim you alone have shouldered the burden of more than $10,000 in child care expenses, all because the defendant denies paternity of your daughter and refuses to help support her.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're suing Mr. Broadnax for half of those costs in the amount of $5,000 and claim today's paternity results will prove you right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Broadnax, you agree you've not done a single thing for one-year-old Bailey. You argue that it's only because Ms. Billingsley cheated on you and you don't believe you're her daughter's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Billingsley, please explain your lawsuit.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. So my daughter is now 21 months, and I have been taking care of her since day one. For example, for her first birthday, me and Mr. Broadnax had decided that we were going to do her birthday party, and I had decided that we were going to, I'm sorry, just seeing her breaks my heart. I had decided that I was going to take her to the zoo and customize her cake, customize her outfit, everything for her. Go all out and beyond for her. When it came down to the date of ordering those things, Mr. Broadnax went MIA. I couldn't find him, I couldn't get a hold of him. Messages on Facebook, everything you could possibly think of to try to get a hold of him.
Your Honor, tell her.
To go ahead.
You should tell her what I have done, Your Honor.
What he has done for me, Your Honor, is in the beginning of my pregnancy.
That might not be mine,
my first trimester was very difficult.
I bought her a house. When she told me that she was pregnant, I had got her a house. I got her a car, everything.
Did. And that was the hardest thing for me because I've always worked. I've always supported myself. And when he would tell me those things, I thought he was going to do it, and he did. He did it. In the first trimester of my pregnancy, it became very difficult. I was almost unable to walk. It almost felt like I was paralyzed. He did everything for me.
I would rub her feet. I would rub her stomach. I'd talk to the baby through the stomach. I'd do everything, Your Honor.
He did, absolutely. We planned this baby. She was planned. When it came down to,
Your Honor,
she
skipped town with my baby, supposedly my child, and she's so quick to skip town.
I did, because of the fact that, one, there was suspicion that he was cheating on me.
There's suspicion she was cheating. Not me. There's suspicion she was cheating. That's why the baby might not.
I'm hearing all these stories about you two planning this baby and being together during the pregnancy. What exactly happened that changed it? There were rumors of cheating?
There was rumors of cheating. I was 3 weeks pregnant when I found out I was pregnant. It was very early in my pregnancy. I found out, I was excited. The first person I called was Mr. Broadnax to share the news because I couldn't have been more happy that I was about to have my family. And then it came down to him moving back and choosing to party constantly. It was constant. And when I realized how constant it had become, I requested it to stop or I was going to leave.
We were together. I got her house, as I said. About 3-4 months, it started getting rocky. We started arguing a lot. Her claiming I was cheating, me feeling she was cheating. DNA tests, when I brought that up, she would always
that is a lie, Your Honor.
She would always get defensive, just like right now.
That is a lie. When he would request, when he would request the DNA test, I told him absolutely, there's no doubt in my mind. Let's go. Let's do it.
That's a lie.
So why
you want to have a DNA test? I'd be more than happy to prove.
So Bailey's almost a year and a half. Why haven't you had a DNA test?
So when I told him to go ahead and request the DNA testing in courts, he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't follow through. So why was it that if you're the one who wants a DNA test, why didn't you go request it? I know who my baby's dad is. I know who the father of my child is. I don't need a DNA test. So if you're requesting it, why didn't you go?
Why didn't you go, Mr. Broadnax?
No, Your Honor, she was out of state, and I always told her she never wanted to do a DNA test. I always tell her she'd get defensive.
I have been doing this on my own from the beginning. I have proof, Your Honor, that shows
doubts, Your Honor.
I have spent over almost $10,000 on this child alone being 21 months. That's almost $500 a month. I am 21 years old and a single mother.
Nothing.
He's done nothing.
She told me numerous occasions that the baby is not mine.
That is a lie.
You have never told me the baby wasn't mine?
I've never told you that.
Ms. Billingsley, you've never ever, in anger, anything, You've never told him this is not your child?
No.
She's lying, Your Honor. I have a relationship now, and that's when she really wanted to.
You have a relationship, but
yeah,
he sure didn't have a problem laying me down the other night, did you?
She's lying, Your Honor.
I'm lying?
So you're in a relationship, Mr. Broadnix?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you were intimate with Ms. Billingsley the other night?
No, Your Honor. She just, I guess it's jealousy. I don't know what it is, Your Honor.
Ms. Billingsley, was he intimate with you?
I will take a lie detector test on that one.
You gave Bailey his last name.
I did. I did.
And is he on the birth certificate? Did he sign the birth certificate?
No, Your Honor. I've submitted a picture of the birth certificate showing that he is not.
I wasn't even able to see her get born or none of that, Your Honor.
Because he wasn't there for the birth.
Ms. Billingsley, if he's not her biological father, will you change her name?
Yes.
So is there a chance he's not her biological father? Since we're in court, we might as well go on ahead and tell the truth and shame the devil. That's what I say.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
So there is a chance.
I had doubt at first due to the fact that when he was out of town and we were constantly fighting, I did call somebody and one thing led to another. It was not meant to happen, but it was not in any time frame of the conception date. When I had her, there was no doubt.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Broadnix, you are the father.
Okay, Your Honor, with that being said, I'm gonna man up, step up to the plate, and start taking care of my daughter.
She needs her father.
But I need time with her, not just money. You need to let her stay with me for a time, not just send money.
Listen, before we get to where we go from here, you submitted expenses, child care expenses to the court that totaled $10,444. This court finds that Ms. Billingsley is in fact entitled to half of those child care expenses. However, the maximum this court can order is $5,000. So with that said, judgment for the plaintiff for $5,000. Mr. Alexander, you are suing your ex-girlfriend for $40 for the cost of the administration fee to legally remove your name from her 4-month-old daughter, Jariah's birth certificate, because there is absolutely no way you are her biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Stewart, you claim that Mr. Alexander is Jariah's biological father and say you're devastated that he would want to remove his name from her birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
In fact, you state that his negligent behavior has caused you and your 2 children to become homeless, and you've asked the court to award you $1,500 for child care expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Alexander, tell the court, why should your name be removed?
Your Honor, I have several reasons why my name should be removed from the birth certificate. For one night we were in the bed chilling. I seen text messages and several phone calls from this guy named Dexter. She wouldn't answer the phone when I was in the room. I guess she would wait until maybe I left or whatever, so that's kind of a suspicion for me.
So you saw text messages coming in on her phone?
Right.
But you never questioned her about it?
Yeah, I asked her about it, and she told me, like, don't worry about it, like, basically, like, it's none of my business. So that's the reason why I have a doubt. Also, a couple times when we were supposed to go bowling to, like, a, pregame bowling or whatever. We got drunk or whatever before we left and actually went bowling. And she told me that, basically, I was too drunk, like, to bowl. Basically took me home with the kid and like stay here and watch the kids while she went out somewhere else and didn't come home till about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's why I'm in doubt too.
Because this was during the window of conception.
Right.
So you feel like she was cheating on you during the time
Correct.
Jariah was conceived?
Correct.
Is that true, Ms. Stewart?
No, Your Honor, it is not. And I'm not even sure why he denies. I mean, I didn't tell him that I was pregnant until I was about 2.5 months, but I didn't tell him because we were rocky at that time. It wasn't a solid foundation, so I didn't want to make it even worse by bringing the baby into the situation.
So, Mr. Alexander, when Ms. Stewart told you that she was pregnant, did you have doubt instantly?
I did. I did have doubt because when she told me she was pregnant, we were actually on a 3-month break, and we got back together like 2 months after that, and then that's when she told me she was pregnant. So we didn't have sex on that 3-month break, so how could you be pregnant? By me, anyway, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so after I found all of this, I decided to be the same way as him. I came up with a plan with my best friend. I changed her name in my phone to Dexter, and I was texting her pretending I was talking to a dude just so that he would think I was cheating because he cheated.
I've seen the text message about can I come see you? How you doing?
Yeah,
like that's her man when I'm supposed to be her man. So that's, like I said, that's doubts of cheating right there to me. If you ask me, that's the whole reason why I think.
Well,
I believe she was cheating.
the only reason I did that is because I saw him cheating first.
So you're saying the entire thing was just fake. It was a hoax. It was something you were doing to make him feel badly for what you thought he was doing.
Just because I wanted him to feel like how he made me feel when I saw those text messages. I just wanted him to see how it felt to, you know, be cheated on.
Mr. Alexander, you brought a witness. I'd like to hear from her. Ma'am, please step up. State your name for the record.
Courtney Alexander.
And you are?
I am Mr. Alexander's sister.
His sister.
Yes.
Ma'am, what do you have to add to this situation? What do you know about this?
Well, Miss Stewart and I have been friends for over 15 years, and we've always talked and told each other secrets about, you know, having backup plans as far as if you have a boyfriend, keeping one on the side for when your boyfriend makes you mad, you can, you know, just go talk to other guys or whatever. So as far as this guy goes, it's not a hoax. They actually hang out all the time.
No, that's false.
Your Honor, he calls and texts her phone several times throughout the night, 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the morning. Like I said, that she don't answer the phone, like, that's kind of a suspicion. A person who calls you at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, especially a male, I mean, he only wants one thing, and that's probably a booty call, so.
What about your booty?
That's what I'm thinking.
Your fine booty you're looking for, like.
Also, I just want to add in that we've actually gone out to meet guys together.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
Recently.
You've gone out to meet guys with Miss Stewart?
Recently, yes, we have. They just had a little break also, and she thought he was cheating, so we went out to go hang out with guys.
Mr. Alexander, you are her father. You feel vindicated, Ms. Stewart? I see you are feeling very emotional over there.
I'm just happy at the end that the results came back like I said that they would.
And how do you feel, Mr. Alexander, now that you know for sure?
Now that I know for sure that that's my daughter, I will step up to the plate, be a man, and take care of her. I will definitely do that.
Good, good. Speaking of that fact, you asked for a name change. We don't need a name change now,
right?
Because she's in fact your little girl.
Right.
With that said, I am dismissing your claim for the $40. Are we clear?
No.
Judgment for the defendant on that. As for your counterclaim, ma'am, you were claiming you spent $1,563 on child care expenses. You provided receipts and a log as to what you spent. Since, in fact, Mr. Alexander has been determined to be Jariah's biological father, you are entitled to half that amount.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Under the law. And Mr. Alexander, you should give that to her without issue. The amount is $781.50 judgment for the defendant. Clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, with that said, I always encourage our families, our parents, even people that just have to co-parent together, that it's better to do it voluntarily. Ms. Jackson, you've dragged your ex-boyfriend to court to prove he fathered your 26-year-old daughter, Tanika.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim he's denied her since birth because you were caught in a love triangle with him and his wife.
That's a lie, Your
Yes,
Honor.
Your Honor.
1 week ago, you reopened your child support case in which you state Mr. Brown owes you $20,624.08.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, you and your wife claim you can't be the father because you were on the road for 3 months during the time of conception.
That's true, Your Honor.
You've basically taken care of your daughter alone.
That
Yes,
is
Your
not
Honor.
true,
Ms.
Your
Jackson.
Honor.
Yes.
That is not
My
true.
daughter and my son.
Ms.
I've
Brown,
been taken care of.
your entire life you were told that Mr. Brown was your biological father?
Yes, Your Honor, I was. Well, by Mr. and Mrs. Brown, they told me different stories that he might not be my father, but my mother always told me that.
She don't
And
really
so
know
why,
who
after
it is.
all these years, why do you reopen the child support case?
Cause she don't, cause
Your
my
Honor,
husband
because
don't want her.
It's still going on.
She's still
For
after my
26 years,
husband.
it's still been going on. These people been denying my daughter for 26
She don't know who her daddy
years.
is.
26
Your
years
Honor.
they've been
Hold
denying
on,
my...
ladies, give me a minute so I can process this. I want to go back to the point where you realize you're pregnant.
We had moved. We moved to Albany, Georgia. Back and forth, he was telling me that he had to come to Jacksonville to take care of business, which wasn't no business, it was being with her.
Exactly right.
And then he
Exactly
came
right.
back one time. I told him that I had a miscarriage. He stated to me, Your Honor, said that don't worry about nothing. We would try to have another child. I told the next time, I told him that I was pregnant. I took the test. I told him I was pregnant. We went to the clinic. The doctor had stated to me and him that I was pregnant.
So you went together. Mr. Brown, do you remember going with her to the clinic?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Do you remember being in a relationship with both of them at the same time, back and forth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do. Were you sleeping with both of them without protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why do you deny that Tanika is your daughter if you know you've been with this woman over a span of time?
Well, Your Honor, I've seen too many things happen. Like one morning, I thought she was at work. Come to find out, she was out with another man.
Well, was she supposed to be committed to you when you were committed to her?
Yes, we was kind of like staying together.
Oh, so at that point, you and Ms. Jackson were living together?
And we was staying together.
Okay.
This is what I'm tired of going through. This is not
And then
about
the time
their
she supposed to
relationship,
have
their relationship.
conceived.
I don't care nothing
What she said
about
at the time she supposed to
what
have
they
conceived
had going on.
Tanika.
This is not
He
about
was in
them
Jacksonville
two.
with me.
This is about me. This is about me finding the DNA test, not them.
At the point you find out you're pregnant,
Yes, Your Honor.
you tell him.
Yes,
You guys go together.
Yes, Your Honor.
From that point on, was he acting like Tanika was his child?
Yes, Your
Was he
Honor.
excited about the
Yes,
child?
Your Honor. He named her Tanika Lachey Brown.
Was he at the hospital when she was born?
Yes,
No, he
he
wasn't. No, he
came in
wasn't.
the hospital, Your Honor.
He
and
wasn't there when
asked
she was
me-
born.
He asked me where she was. The nurse brought her back in the room. He put the robe on her and he fed her. Not only that, Cajun, when she was born, he's shoot pool. He came by the
No,
house
she know
and
he
he
want
dressed
the
her
girl
up.
so bad.
He dressed her and carried her to the pool hall with her. He was happy with his daughter.
Did you take her around places with you, Mr. Brown?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor.
Your
She
Honor.
has your last name.
Yes, Your Honor.
That he
Your
didn't
Honor.
give her.
Yes.
So he said he did
took-
not sign her
Excuse
birth
me,
certificate.
y'all.
So that's what I want to know.
No, he said, I asked my husband over and over again, did you sign the birth certificate? When
Well,
Tanika
Your
was
Honor,
born,
I don't know.
Your
I didn't
when
sign no
let me tell you
papers.
something else that they didn't tell you, Your Honor. When Tanika was born, another man was on her original birth certificate as her father, not my husband. Miss Jackson was married at the time.
Wait a minute now, Miss Jackson. When did you get married in there?
She was married all the
She was
time.
still married.
When she was messing with him.
Your Honor, I got married, but I got it.
She
my
was
husband
still
got it
married.
alone because he went to Georgia and got married to another
They
woman.
put the other
which
man's
the judge
name on the
said
birth
that was
certificate.
bigamy.
Her husband's name
He
was on
felt
her
when
birth
we was
certificate.
going together, he know because at that time we was seeing each other. We were seeing each other.
All right. Your feeling is that you keep asking her for this DNA test over a span of 12 years,
And she would
she's
not
avoiding it
But now, all of a
purposefully.
sudden, now she want a DNA test now. Okay, I was more than glad to come
And
here.
you're saying he's paying child support for
He
the child.
He have already,
Let me see that, Ron.
paid $4,000 and
me,
$800.
And you don't believe he's the father?
No, ma'am. That's the money that he have paid for child support. That she said he was never on child support. He never did nothing for her.
You believe she's avoiding the DNA test because she's getting this money?
I figured that she did that because she know that Tanika's not my husband's daughter.
I'm the one that wanted the DNA test because I got tired of going through this for 26 years.
I can imagine, hon.
And I've been going through this triangle for 26 years now, and I'm very tired. I don't care about what they went through. I care less. I just want to know if he's my father.
Mr. Brown, you are her father.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Mama ain't got the lie.
And you knew that. You knew that. Are you all right, Tanika?
Go hug.
No, he need to come over there and hug her. Mr. Brown, that's your daughter. That's your daughter.
Sorry. You forgive me.
I forgave you a long time ago, Dad.
When the truth presents itself in all of its beautiful color in the courtroom, let's acknowledge it for everything it is.
Yes, ma'am.
And let me tell you this. When I said you go across that aisle and hug your daughter, the first thing you did was look at your wife for permission. I didn't miss that.
Amen about that.
And I want to make sure we're clear if no one's let you know. You don't need permission to love your child.
Amen. That's right.
Yes, ma'am.